Winners of 20 straight regular season games, the Denver Outlaws leave the Mile High City to meet a new team with familiar faces in the Florida Launch. It's opening night of MLL action coming at you right now. From inside FAU Stadium on the campus of Florida Atlantic University in Boca, this is opening night for the MLL. The Denver Outlaws taking on the Florida Launch. Hello again, everybody. I'm Dave Lamont, joined by Kevin Finneran, and this is a fabulous matchup because in Denver, you've got a team that finished the regular season unbeaten, yet had a sour taste in the playoffs. What do they have to do to overcome that?
They really had a storybook season last year, Dave. The only team in MLL history going 14-0. And then losing in the first round of the playoffs to Charlotte. So I'm sure they're anxious to get at it again this season.
You know them last year in Hamilton. They've come to South Florida, taking advantage of a growing lacrosse market. What can we expect in the Launch this year?
Well, the Florida Launch have some expert experience in Casey Powell, Doug Shanahan, and some other players top to bottom. So I'm sure they're excited to be out here, and I'm sure they're going to give the home fans something really to cheer about. All
right, starting with Denver, Kevin, take us through our Warrior player spotlight.
Well, Chris Bocklett, he's just a special player. He's really become the face of this team, and last year led the league in scoring with 42 goals, over 55 points. He's just a scorer that can go from inside and out, so he's going to be somebody very exciting to watch tonight.
Let me guess for the Launch, Casey Powell?
Casey is, Wiley veteran, 9-year veteran, multiple MLL championships, really the face of this franchise as well, and he'll be very exciting to watch as well tonight.
Gorgeous night in South Florida for lacrosse. Let's get it on. Face-off is next.
It's the greatest assembly of lacrosse talent you will see this year.
Riddle up top, down to go for Paul, right on cue. He scores! It is Kimmel on the run. Kimmel for two. Ridiculous.
From Major League Lacrosse All-Stars, the U.S. National Team, the 2014 MLL All-Star Game, June 26th at Harvard Stadium. Get your tickets today.
Come on, squirrels, ball's in. Get the ball. Come on.
Yo, touch the future, baby.
Baltimore Bayhawks are the 2002 Major League Lacrosse champions. The Baltimore Bayhawks, champions of Major League Lacrosse. Smith on his way, he scores! The Chesapeake Bayhawks have returned to the winner's circle.
Be a witness to lacrosse history. The 2014 Major League Lacrosse Championship Game, August 23rd, Kennesaw, Georgia. Tickets are on sale now.
How you doing? I'm Scott Rogers, goaltender of the Ohio Machine. The game of lacrosse has given me many opportunities and taught me valuable lessons throughout my playing career. Of all the things I've learned, the most important value I carry with me, on and off the field, is to compete with class. What does that mean? It means playing hard but not dirty. It means obeying the rules and not intentionally injuring others. Because good sportsmanship is so important, I've pledged to compete with class and honor the game this season. Will you join me? Take the pledge at uslacrosse.org/competewithclass.
All right. No, wait a minute. This telecast of Major League Lacrosse is presented by Coca-Cola. Open happiness. By Warrior, proud to be an official equipment sponsor of the MLL. Warrior Lacrosse. Cross the line. By Powerade. Power through with Powerade Ion 4. And by 5 Hour Energy, for those who play for the love of the game. Perfect evening for the MLL opener for these two teams tonight. The Denver Outlaws off that unbeaten regular season and failure to win in the playoffs, and the Florida Launch, formerly the Hamilton franchise last year, and now moving to Boca Raton, the FAU Stadium, a campus that has rapidly expanded over the last 5 to 10 years. And this stadium just 3 years old, home of the Owls of FAU. Take a look at our starting goalie. First for the Outlaws, Jesse Schwartzman, tops in MLL last year. Goals against average of just a shade under 10. B.J. O'Hara, now the head coach of the Outlaws, taking over for Jim Stagnita, who just so happens to be an assistant with the Florida Launch. You see the Launch's goalie, Brett Queener, out of Albany University. He was second best in save percentage last year. And the man in the middle there with a shaved head, Stan Ross, is the head coach of the Florida Launch. Some ceremonial Palm Beach County Sports Commission welcoming the Launch here. Roy Condon, Bruce Crawford, your officials, along with Tony Williams and Steve Rappel. And as they welcome this franchise in, Denver will be in the whites and the yellow and blue colors you're pretty fond of here for the Launch.
They look good. They really do, Dave. South Florida colors. And I'm sure the guys in July are going to appreciate those colors when it's 90 degrees.
Well, it's 84 right now, 62% humidity. It's getting to that time of the year. If you're not familiar with South Florida weather, April for some people still wearing sweaters or sweatshirts. Not anymore here. That's over with, and it's just going to get warmer and more humid as the summers go on here. So it'll be very interesting to see how teams who come in later in the season deal with that. And even at the walkthrough today, the Denver players are saying, I think I like the thinner air better than the warmer air in South Florida.
Yeah, but then I was quick to say to them, well, when it's snowing in Columbus, Ohio all winter long, or in Denver, then you'd appreciate living down here.
So we're just waiting to get the face-off, and Denver will have the outstanding face-off specialist from Ohio State, Anthony Kelly, number 47 there. Chris Mattis for the Florida Launch. And Kelly very capable of taking it straight through from the face-off and scoring.
He's definitely one of the keys to the game for Denver, Dave. And, he's a big man, and he's not afraid to go down the middle.
And the inaugural moments of Florida Launch Lacrosse and the MLL underway in a face-off at the face-off before Kelly came away with it, and the Launch will scoop. Florida on the attack. The shot is wide, and it will belong to the Launch. Kayla Cow. And the Launch already making some changes on the fly, and the number's a little tricky to read here at times with the yellow and white.
This first midfield for the Launch, Dave, comprised of Casey Powell, Mario Ventaquacho, and Shaz Woodson. Very exciting.
Just getting inside the two-point line. Shot a little bit wide there. Might have been tipped by Schwartzman. Out of bounds. And again, the Launch. Kayla Cow being marked by Dylan Roy. And the Launch trying to maintain possession and not able to do it.
Over and back there, Dave.
And how about our Brian Keys to the game for Denver?
Well, for sure, they want to try to contain Casey Powell. He's a hometown hero here, and he's going to want to put on a show. Denver, they can score from so many ways. Attack, midfield, so they want to have a balanced scoring. If they can get 2 or 3 goals from each of their players at that offensive end, it's going to be tough to stop. And obviously take advantage of their team experience. Lee Zink, Jesse Schwartzman.
This is Drew Snyder with a shot, and it's out of bounds, but it'll belong to the visitors from Denver. That's Chris Bachlet. Sieverts. Don't forget there's a 60-second shot clock here, but that's not really a factor yet. We're just inside 30. A shot is deflected in front. Picked up by Matt Gibson. Now the shot clock down to 15, and there's a goal. And it looks like Drew Snyder, the midfielder from Maryland, tallying what might be the first goal in the league this year.
It's true, and at Florida Launch home territory. So he's a dynamic midfielder. Came out hard the first time, wasn't successful, came right back at it. See him go right to left here, no slide. Buries the top shelf.
So Mattis and Kelly will hook up once again. Kelly the bigger of the two, but Mattis hanging right with him. And comes away with it, lost it. And back the other way, Denver, that's Matt Bachlet, who came away with it, number 7 in white.
Denver Outlaws goal.
Chris is a brother,
Forward,
talented
523.
player in his own right from Johns Hopkins University.
That's Gibson, Jeremy Sieverts, Drew Snyder, who has the first goal of the season for an Outlaws team that was perfect last year, 14-0. And B.J. O'Hara said earlier this week, "No, I don't think we're going to do that again." You just can't expect a franchise to continue to put on that kind of a run, but they have won 20 consecutive games in the regular season and are fully expected to be at or near the top of the regular season standings of the MLL again in year 14 of the league.
As we said earlier in the pregame, they really haven't lost much. In fact, they might have improved in certain ways.
Thrown away that time, and it'll be Florida ball. This field is in unbelievably great shape. It's a grass field. You could sleep on it comfortably. It's in perfect condition.
Both teams, both players on both teams, they must be really excited to play in such an amazing venue. I mean, you look at venues like Denver, Boston, and FAU is right up there.
Call going against the launch, and Denver breaking out quickly. Shot and a goal from about the same spot as the first goal. This time it's Chris Bachlet out of the University of Virginia. He had 42 goals a year ago, 55 points, and Denver is out to a quick 2-0 lead.
And he really is lethal. You give him time and room, time to look at the goal, survey where he wants to put it, and his shooting percentage is tops in the leagues.
Shot it right by the defenseman Tucker Durkin and through Queener.
Denver goal.
And this will be Florida ball.
That'll be an exciting matchup all night long. Tucker Durkin covering Bachlet. Tucker, one of the finest defensemen in the game.
So we'll see how the launch can recover from this very fast start. Don't forget, in MLL, that circle, if you shoot and score from outside of there, it's a 2-point shot.
Both teams have at least one or two players that make a living at the 2-point shot, Dave, so expecting a lot of that tonight.
Well, off the pick, the launch trying to get in close. They do, and it's just wide. And the launch will get the opportunity again. A bit of a breezy night, as you can hear. We're actually from where Coach Finn and I are sitting, you can see the Atlantic Ocean. Now, this is a rather unusual locale, and so we're not at all far from ocean breezes, which will make it a little bit more comfortable in these 84-degree temperatures. Very physical play that time by Dylan Roy for Denver, and he causes the turnover and a breakout here for the Outlaws, and it's lost by Ferguson. And back the other way, though, goes Denver.
Denver's got some defensive middies now on Florida covering them that are not used to that position, so good opportunity for them to cash in on a goal or two.
Opportunity in here, and there's a nice save by Brett Queener. Looks like Justin Pennington with a shot, and here comes Florida. There's a shot scooped up by Schwartzman, top goaltender in the league last year, and the Outlaws break quickly. And then pull back.
One of our keys to the game coming up will be Florida utilizing the 6-second shot clock a couple times down there in a row.
Well, they didn't come up with your first key very well.
Not yet, not fast start, but they're going to get that back hopefully and get the home crowd involved. Face-offs, controlling Anthony Kelly, one of the best in the league last year at 59%, and again, control the shot clock.
And Queener with another outstanding save for Florida. And then he led the break before he hustles back to in between the pipes.
One of the most dynamic, if not the most dynamic goalie in the league, Dave. You'll expect to see that all night long coming across midfield.
Talked with Casey Powell earlier, and you'll see some of that interview at halftime, and he says he's Mr. Personality on the launch, is Queener. So he's He's come up with a couple of big saves, keeping his team in it, while the offense for Florida searching for a way to crack through with their first goal in franchise history as the Florida launch. Chance there, and another save by Schwartzman. Looked like there was just no angle for that shot.
Yeah, that was Mario Ventacroccio. He's getting his shots off. He's getting good reads at the goals. Going to hopefully bury some as the game progresses.
At the pro level, you get a lot of physical play, and another goal as Queener kind of fell down. Eric Law took advantage of the empty net, and it's a quick 3-0 start for Denver. 8:33 remaining in this first quarter.
Yeah, unsettled. Denver's dangerous, and that's what happened there. Turnover, they got the ball back, had numbers, 2-on-1, and that's what you could ask for.
We're going to step aside while the Launch try to regroup, down 3-0 in the opening moments of Game 1 in Florida Launch history against top team in the league last year in the regular season, the Denver Outlaws.
It's the greatest assembly of lacrosse talent you will see this year.
Riddle up top, down to go for Paul right on cue. He scores! It is Kimmel on the run. Kimmel for 2. Ridiculous.
From Major League Lacrosse All-Stars, the U.S. national team, the 2014 MLL All-Star Game, June 26th at Harvard Stadium. Get your tickets today.
Your hard work out there drives our hard work in here. Because the things you do that no one sees determine what happens when everyone's watching.
Sievert's off the sweep, gets inside, and scores!
Change hands. Pennell high scores! Rob Pennell, what a play!
Brody Merrill
for 2, and he got it!
Guys, you know they got 6-packs in the aisles now. Save tons of money.
Save big on 6-packs of 5-Hour Energy.
Don't forget, coming up June 26th, you want to take advantage of this because this is a fabulous facility, Harvard Stadium, a historic place, and the 2014 MLL All-Star Game will be June 26th. Harvard Stadium in Boston. Start thinking about getting your tickets right now for the best of the best in the MLL, the 2014 All-Star Game. All right, you're a coach, Kevin. Florida Launch unable to really crack through so far. What do they have to do here?
Well, it looks like a lot of their offense is going through Grant Calico right now. I think Kevin Cunningham needs to touch the ball a little bit more. Obviously, Casey Powell, Chaz Woodson. Try to dodge from up top, draw the slide, hit the backside attackman.
That's a good pass to Snyder. He has a goal already. Quick shot. Oh, wow! That is an amazing save by Brett Queener.
Brett's definitely stepping up for his team so far. Hopefully that's a rallying cry for the Florida Launch.
Should mention in that All-Star Game, by the way, at Harvard Stadium, it'll be Team USA and the best of the MLL. So that is going to be an incredible scene at Harvard Stadium.
Leading up to the World Championships in Denver this July.
And you get your tickets at MajorLeagueLacrosse.com. Under 8 minutes in this opening quarter. There's your score. Jesse Schwartzman has also come up with some nice saves in the early going for Denver.
Casey going hard here.
That's a nice pass and a vicious shot that goes high and wide. So Andrew Scally with the ball for Florida. He tried to hook a shot over the net and went over the very top of the net. I don't know if Schwartzman got a piece of it or not, but he will reach over the boards and scoop it up and start things for Denver.
No backup there. Looks like both attackmen are coming hard at the goal. One with the ball, one offside. Didn't have backup. Giving the ball over to Denver. On cue, though, that we did have Casey and Chaz Woodson trying to work some magic, get Florida Launch their first goal.
Well, Florida's got a lot of Floridians on the team. Casey Powell, one of them, Nick O'Hara, Adam Fullerton, Doug Shanahan, Mario Ventaquattro, and Chaz Woodson. And as you know, since you coach in the area, the level of high school play and the level of high school coaching and the club level in South Florida is growing, and that's one of the reasons MLL has settled here.
It is exciting. Those guys are really the face of South Florida lacrosse, along with Lee Coppersmith, who we didn't mention. It's going to be exciting.
Queener has been the man of the match so far. 2-point opportunity, no, a fake on the 2-point opportunity, and Florida will have to hit the reset button. But Queener has just been literally all over the field as he runs back toward his goal. That's Cunningham for Florida.
Denver playing solid team defense. Part of the reason they went 14-0 last year, letting up the least goals allowed per game.
Opportunity here, perhaps. Working in. That's Leo Gosney, and it just gets by the goal. And the Launch pick it up and start again. It's not as if they haven't had opportunities.
But Schwartzman showing why it was the goaltender of the year last year. Had the best save percentage in the league at 9.89. Just really stepping up. He's a brick wall so far.
There's a shot that goes wide. And a lot of the offense, we talked during the break. Kalikow, number 30, out of Delaware, the attacker, seems like he's pretty much running the offense for Florida.
Well, they have Casey and Chaz playing midfield tonight, and both of them are historically attackmen. So that might pay off dividends in the future of the game. Right now, yeah, the offense seems to be going for Grant.
And Kalikow throws it away. The Launch will get it back in, but it's a turnover.
Second over in the back for the Florida Launch tonight.
Take a look there at Jeremy Sieberts out of Maryland. Under 5 minutes in the opening quarter and lots of time on the shot clock for the Outlaws. There's a shot, rejected again. I don't know if Queener got that or one of his teammates got a piece of it with a shoe. But Florida on the move. That's Shanahan.
Actually, I believe this is Lee Coppersmith.
Yep, you are correct. That's 16, not 26, Coppersmith.
Lee trying to be the first player in Florida Launch history to score a goal. That would have been exciting for the Boca Raton native.
Out of Johns Hopkins, a midfielder. This is Scally again for Florida, and a shot. Had a chance, but it was picked up by one of the defenders, and very quickly Denver breaking out again.
Denver's close defense led by Lee Zink so far impenetrable.
Zink, I think, was the defensive player of the year in MLL last year.
That's correct. There's Matt Gibson, a new player for the Denver Outlaws, coming over in a trade. Real crafty lefty attackman.
Sam Snow, number 3. Matt Gibson on the shot, that goes wide. Everybody claims it's theirs, and the officials agree with Denver. There's Chris Bachlet being marked very heavily, but gets an opportunity, and man, he got drilled. That'll be a penalty. We'll find out exactly for how long.
Chris took the advantage of the short stick mismatch. Chaz Woodson covered him, took him to the cooker. Was able to draw the foul.
There you see what our score with that Denver and Florida. We'll step aside with Denver in front of the Launch, 3-0.
For the Dress Like a Florida Launch player contest.
The Baltimore Bayhawks are the 2002 Major League Lacrosse champions.
Ryan Boyle scanning, scores! Philadelphia is the champ in 2007.
Time has expired off the clock. This one for all the beans. Finally goes to Boston.
Who will will be next. The 2014 MLL Championship Game, August 23rd, Kennesaw, Georgia. Get your tickets today.
Yo, touch the future, baby.
The stars of MLL are the most skilled in the world. Chaz Woodson can fly. Paul Rabel can jump over a car. Brad Queener will jump out of one. And last year, Kevin Buchanan brought skate shooting to the MLL. What skill will win this year's freestyle competition? It's based on crowd reaction, so you can be a judge. Come to the 2014 MLL All-Star Game presented by AT&T to help pick the winner. June 26th at Harvard Stadium.
Here's our score, 3:17 remaining in the quarter. Denver over Florida, and our goalies have been outstanding. You see Jesse Schwartzman and Brett Queener.
You see Mario Venturkrauts are going hard. Jesse Schwartzman hugging the pipe nicely. And then Pennington going hard. And Brett Queener at this point really keeping the launch in the game. He probably has 5 or 6 unbelievable saves, point blank.
Now you see the top goalie in the league, goalie of the year in the MLL. Denver brings in 3 award winners from last year. Schwartzman, who you just saw. Drew Snyder was the league's most improved player, and he scored the first goal of the season for Denver. And also the defensive player of the year, Lee Zink, and he has been a factor in this game for the Outlaws.
Florida wants to be weary of the 2-point shot here. Denver being on the man up.
Penalty against the Logs for pushing with possession. So they'll be shorthanded.
Penalty was on number 2, Chaz Woodson.
Chaz Woodson was hit with a penalty and a goal with a power play. 4-0 Denver. That looks like Sieverts.
Yep, Sieverts just parked out on the crease. Chris Bocklett with a little look-away pass. He can score, but he certainly can feed just as well.
No, Sieverts 27 goals and 6 assists. He had 6 2-point goals last year for Denver, so we know he can shoot from long distance. This time he goes in close and shoves in the power play goal.
Jeremy's got to be one of the top 3 midfielders in Major League Lacrosse these days, Dave. Just a big, strong, fast midfielder.
I don't know. These players, when they get that close in face-offs and they wrestle for several seconds, they talk to each other?
You know what? I was never there. You know.
You weren't asked.
No, I waited on the outside.
you waited to see the backwash. Is that what it was? Well, Denver only brought Anthony Kelly to handle the face-offs. He's their face-off guy until the game is over, and he's already put a lot of effort into those face-offs.
And as you were saying earlier, he's clearly no Fogo. Face-off, go-off. Anthony Kelly can score when he has the opportunity.
Very patient attack here by Denver under 2 minutes in the opening quarter. They lead 4-0. Snyder getting in close. Wide, picked up. And I think that goal's going to be waved off. I hear whistles before the shot.
Snyder stepped in the crease there.
So that'll be no goal and Florida ball.
You know, Florida's playing well. They're just, I think they get that first goal, get the monkey off their back, they're going to be in good shape.
Here's Casey Powell. He runs into a little resistance for what's been a very stiff Denver defense. He's trying to perhaps get off a shot or just get rid of it, but he just keeps getting belted. And it's high and out of bounds, and it'll belong to the visitors from Denver.
A little too much standing around there by the other 5 players from Florida. I think some more off-ball movement is what they would be needing right now. Under
a minute in this first quarter. The debut of Major League Lacrosse for a regular season sport in South Florida. That's Terry Kimmener out of Maryland, Baltimore County. Sieverts again, he has been a big factor. Knocked aside on that shot, though. Ooh, that nearly was a clever attempt by Matt Bachlet. Excuse me, that's Sam Snow, number 3. And it'll be Denver ball.
2 more huge saves by Brett Queener.
He has been spectacular. I don't have an exact number. What, you got about 8, you think?
Oh, at least.
Off the top of my head?
At least.
Gibson posting up. It is a goal. Gibson posted up Eric Law, who went to Denver University of Denver, able to take advantage of that, and it's 5-0 Outlaws. So they literally are picking up where they left off last regular season.
And when we talked about balanced scoring, these are the kind of guys we're talking about. Goals from Bachlet, from Law, from Sieverts. See Gibson here going. Again, he's got a short stick. Slide comes. Leaves Eric Law with time and room, and he's going to bury that.
And I would just say, if you're a Launch fan and you're frustrated, just imagine what the score would be if Queener wasn't in goal tonight.
Denver Golden, scored by number 50.
Mattis won the faceoff, got away from Kelly, who's a bigger player, but Sebastiani comes away with it for Denver in the waning seconds. Let's see if Denver can get off another shot. And they throw it away, but they're down to 5. There's still a chance, maybe even for a 2-pointer. Gibson. And they run out of time, but a dominating start for the Denver Outlaws in this quarter. And part of the reason Jesse Schwartzman's performance, although he hasn't made as many saves as Brett Queener, he has been rock solid in goal, and he's had a lot of help from a very stingy defense. We'll step aside and return with quarter number 2. The Outlaws in front. This is Major League Lacrosse. There you see, start of the second quarter with Denver in front 5-0. But Kevin, you notice that the Launch has made a big adjustment with Casey Powell.
Yeah, they bumped Casey down to attack. I'm sure the ball is going to go through him most of the time now. Give an opportunity to be on the field the whole time instead of subbing in at midfield.
He'll be number 22 for the Launch. There's a good look at Casey. And you'll hear from him at halftime, by the way. So now the Launch going left to right, hoping that they can find some offense. And certainly part of it has been Jesse Schwartzman. What else has kept Florida off the scoreboard?
Well, we talked about it earlier. You know, I think a lot of ball watching, not a lot of off-ball movement. And there we go, nice cut right there by Mario Ventaquattro.
But turned over by Florida, and it'll be Denver ball. Beautiful evening in Boca Raton, Florida. FAU Stadium, the scene for this inaugural game for the Florida Launch and the first weekend of the MLL season number 14. Opportunity here into the crease and back out, and Queener will come away with it. And again, he'll lead the break. Apparently did not get a good workout in this morning, so he wants to do his running now.
It's almost like having a fourth midfielder.
Yeah.
The way he comes down on the clears. I think Coach Ross just talked to the guys at the end of the quarter and just said, just bear down, calm down. Jitters are off. We're off the bus now. Let's play.
Here's a shot that's wide. It'll be launch ball. Opportunity here, trying to post up, but it's been very hard for Florida to get clean passes in front of the net.
Denver's close defense. Roy, Zink.
There's a shot rejected. That might have hit the pipe, or perhaps Schwartzman got a piece of it. That might have been the best looking shot Florida's had so far tonight. And very quickly, here comes Denver, right in on goal, and it's shot wide. I mean, nobody got in front of Sieverts. Yeah, he just was able to run down the field untouched.
End to end. That would have been a big goal for Denver and a backbreaker for Florida coming out of the first break.
There goes a penalty flag. This will go against the launch. 2-point opportunity, and it is missed. However, you saw the flag, and this is going to be the second penalty of the night on Florida.
I think we're looking at another push with possession here, Dave.
So no penalties on Denver, 2 on the launch, and the last time this happened, Denver did get a power play goal.
Denver's lethal 6-on-6. You give them an extra attacker, it'll be tough to stop.
This is something they worked on. Both teams worked on their power plays and the morning walkthroughs. Brett Garber hit with the penalty for Florida. Chris Bachlet, they work it around. That's Matt Gibson. Still has it. Opportunity here, and a goal. Another power play goal. Drew Snyder, who scored the first goal of the game and perhaps of this season, got a good pass from Gibson and rattled it home.
And that's exactly the play that they worked on the walkthrough this morning. Gibson comes around off the fake flip. Defense draws to the guy that they think have the ball, and he goes backside to a lethal shooter in Drew Snyder. Hard to believe that ball got through those sticks.
Snyder was unmarked. So we'll do it again. Kelly not satisfied with the ball. He and Mattis will battle one more time for possession.
Assist to number 33, Matt Gibson.
Gibson picking up, of course, the assist on that. And that's Roger Ferguson for Denver. They're up 6-love here. And looking for more. Chance here, and again Queener comes away with a save, and he'll lead the break, and this time they're waiting for him. Queener loses sight of the ball and gets it right back, and he's undeterred as he starts to break one more time. And a good chance here for Florida. Pass in front. Shot, score! That looks like Josh Amadon with the first goal in launch history.
Josh Amadon from Casey Powell. Syracuse to Syracuse, and it started with Brett Queener once again. Makes 2 big saves, clears the ball himself, gets it up to Amadon. Casey, back to Josh, bang, the back of the net.
Best look that the launch has had all night, and they cash in. Powell will get the assist. Amadon gets the goal, so mark that one down in Florida launch history. The first goal scored by the midfielder from the Orangemen.
Launch goal! Scored by number 15, Josh Amadon.
Those are the kind of goals you think will spark a team.
Well, they do need it. Let's be honest. They launch desperately need something to get going, and perhaps moving Powell into more of a position where he'll be on the field more often has helped.
And it always starts with the ground balls. You tell every kid that you coach, ground balls, and Launch have gotten the last 2 or 3 key ground balls. Let's see where this leads.
So Denver taking a minute to reset their defense while the Launch takes a breath. And Amadon staying into the game, number 15. .22 on the shot clock here for Florida. Good move, a shot, and I think Schwartzman got a piece of that. It'll be launch ball, the shot clock at 13. Under 10 now. And it went through a few wickets, not really a shot, it just ended up with Schwartzman.
Yeah, the Launch is stepping up their game, that's for sure. They just got to play a little bit more fundamental lacrosse. You're down 6-1, you want to make the smart pass, not necessarily the fancy pass.
Denver led 5-0 at the end of the first quarter. They got off very, very quickly. The exact opposite of what one of your Brian keys to the game were for Florida, was to start quickly. That's Chris Bachlet again now with it for the Outlaws, looking for an opportunity, and he got it. Unbelievable, Bachlet. That was a difficult shot from an odd angle, and he scored.
Again, Bachlet taking advantage of the short stick defender on him, going topside, increasing his angle, and burying it.
So if Florida had any momentum at all, it may have been erased by another goal from the Virginian, Chris Bachlet. We'll step aside.
Hi, I'm Ben Rubio. The game of lacrosse has taught me many lessons throughout my playing career. Of all the things that I have learned, the most important value I carry with me, on and off the field, is to compete with class. What does that mean? It means playing hard but not dirty. It means obeying the rules and not intentionally injuring others. Because good sportsmanship is so important, I have pledged to compete with class and honor the game this season. Will you join me? Take the pledge at uslacrosse.org/competewithclass.
Introducing TheLocker.com, a revolutionary new way for athletes to connect off the field. Like, share, collect, and purchase gear right from pros' lockers. Search teams, products, or your favorite players to see what gear they use and trust. Log on today at TheLocker.com. What's in your locker?
Major League Lacrosse has changed its postseason format. This year, the top two teams in the standings will host semifinal games August 16th. Then the following week, the 2014 MLL champion will be crowned in Kennesaw, Georgia. Come out to Fifth Third Bank Stadium on August 23rd for the championship game and see who will hoist the Steinfeld Cup this year. For tickets and information, just visit MajorLeagueLacrosse.com. Will it be the Denver Outlaws? And Kevin, they have to be very serious candidates for that trophy.
Well, the way they're moving the ball, they're picking up just where they left off last year. And, you know, their offense is going through the 3 or 4 superstars, and Bachlet, Sieverts, and Law. They each have at least 2 goals in the game.
And yet another titanic struggle between these two. I feel like they should put a cage around him, throw a referee in there, and get it over with.
Shanahan, number 26, wishes he's been in there. For many years, he was a dominant face-off man in this league.
Now instead, he's chasing Kelly and clobbered him and got the ball away from him. Shanahan leads the launch downfield. He anticipated that hit, shoots, and a save by Schwartzman. Got a great look there by Shanahan. What an individual effort, but now it goes back the other way for Denver. They've been lethal, but they throw it away.
Great ground ball by Shanahan, off the face-off, came down hard, had a short stick on him. I believe that might have even hit pipe.
That's possible, because that really did ricochet quite a bit.
another South Florida native, I'm sure he would have liked to have gotten the second goal in Florida launch history.
There's quite a few launch players who had their phones blow up as this game got closer looking for seats.
I know I asked Casey, he said only 10 seats that he had, only 10 tickets this game.
Because he stopped answering his phone. Pass in front, knocked away, and it's once again the Outlaws and a nice outlet pass by Schwartzman. That's Dominic Sebastiani, number 45, who took it in, and then Denver will just sort of reset.
And that's a really exciting story right there. Dominic Sebastiani at the University of Delaware. Saw him on the field this morning through the walkthrough. Came up to me and said, "Hey, you doing, Coach Finn?" I looked at him and I said, "Oh my gosh, welcome to the MLL." I coached him to a state championship in New Jersey, Morristown High School, a few years back. Very excited to see him out there, and proud.
That's Terry Kimmener working around to Jeremy Sieverts, who's had a couple of goals already. Opportunity here, perhaps. Shot clock at 12. You have 60 seconds to shoot. Now it's 7. We haven't seen a 2-point attempt yet. Tricky shot. And that'll belong to Denver. And that was just the 0 on the shot clock, but that shot was taken under 60, and correction, that ball belonged to Florida.
One of the best defensive sets of the evening for the Florida launch.
Snyder tried another one of those low-angle shots, and that time he missed everything, and the ball belonged to the launch as they try to get their offense together. Take a look at Brett Garber there.
We tell you kids at the youth level to shoot overhand, but when you get to this level, these guys can shoot it anywhere.
There's a shot that went right in front of Schwartzman. A little bit wide. Kayla Cow, who's been sort of the point man for the offense for Florida so far tonight.
See what Casey can do with the ball here.
Now, off the pick. Shot, and a goal!
Outside.
Nope, just missed it. I saw the net moved. The crowd cheered. They thought the same thing, but as you can see, Denver very quickly on the attack. Opportunity right in front, and they score. That's Michael Simon, who just walked in unchecked, unmarked, and he's able to make it 8-1 Denver.
Michael the Tree Simon.
He's a big cat. He is immediately noticeable at a walkthrough.
He ran the floor and was rewarded by his offensive teammates. See, one of the big difference about Denver than Florida right now, Dave, they're really moving the ball well. Ball's really not in any player's stick for more than 1 or 2 seconds.
So a win from a near goal for Florida to a goal for Denver. And the Launch trying to start the breakaway, and they couldn't do it. Eric Law picking up an assist. There's his shot. Oh, Queener took it. And he will need a moment or two. Not sure exactly where that hit him, but that stings.
Looks like his right arm, shoulder,
on the field.
Or maybe his right thigh.
I'd say arm.
Yeah, arm.
Yeah.
And Brett, like all goalies in Major League Lacrosse, are incredibly, incredibly tough. So for him to go down, that must have really got him good. See Steve Panarelli cheering him on there.
No protection on that arm where it hit. It looked like maybe around the forearm. And fired with anger. Step aside. Hopefully Brett Queener will be able to continue. We'll break with Denver in front. 8-1. This is Major League Lacrosse.
He fires and scores! The Long Island Lizards jumping for joy! Victory in 2003! A national championship, if you will, for the Toronto Nationals. The champions are from Chesapeake. You can believe in the Bayhawk dynasty.
Who will be next? The 2014 MLL Championship Game, August 23rd, Kennesaw, Georgia. Get your tickets to greatest assembly of lacrosse talent you will see this year.
Red up top, having a go for Paul Red, right on cue! He scores! It is Kimmel on the run. Kimmel for two! Ridiculous!
From Major League Lacrosse All-Stars, the U.S. National Team, the 2014 MLL All-Star Game, June 26th at Harvard Stadium. Get your tickets today.
Take a look at Brett Queener, who the trainer's just now walking off the field. He took a shot what we think was around the right forearm here, Kevin.
Yeah, Big A train Anthony Kelly just comes in uncontested. All 275 pounds of him. And just rips one right into his forearm, looks like.
But I think that showed a larger issue that Queener's had to deal with tonight. Too many open shots. In the last goal from Michael Simon, he could have picked any spot and hit a target in the net and been able to score, and that seems to have been a problem for the Launch defensively tonight. Great effort there, though. But once again, Denver comes away with it, led by Sam Snow. He'll fire and score. Sam Snow. Maybe Queener's still a bit shaken up. And it is 9-1 Denver. They are definitely picking up when they left off in the regular season.
And Denver just outworking in the energy level that they're showing tonight from start to finish, unquestioned. Snow comes down, again, uncontested, as we said earlier. And Brett can only stop so many of those shots.
Is it as simple to ask you to just have Florida contest it better? Is there a strategy that's missing here?
I just think the Denver offense is so overpowering right now, and Florida's slide packages on defense need to improve, and I'm sure that's something they'll address at halftime. And again, Florida's got some midfielders on the field playing defense that not usually accustomed to playing defense.
Well, Denver opened up with a 5-0 lead at the end of the first. They picked up a 6th goal before Florida. And Josh Amadon able to get on the board, but now a 3-goal run here for the Outlaws on the inaugural game for the Florida Launch here at the beautiful FAU Stadium at Florida Atlantic University, and just a pocket pick by Dylan Roy. Noah Molnar. And we're going to have a penalty here against Florida. It'll be their 3rd of the night. And Denver is 2 for 2 in the power play.
Noah Molnar draws that penalty. I believe it's on Nick O'Hara. We'll find out shortly. We talked about him early in training camp and in the walkthrough this morning.
Defenseman out of Duke. And Jeremy Siebert's taken off. Shot. And good defense. A little solid contact that time against Chris Bachland as he went to shoot that. So now we'll get the call against Florida.
I'm anxious to see this replay, what the call was exactly. I didn't really see much damage there. The MLL level, it takes a lot to get a slash call.
Yeah, it does. What's the old line about the old American Basketball Association? You had to practically present your x-rays to get a free throw. And, yeah, we've all seen worse, but it is the call. So here's the issue for Florida. Can they come up with a stop shorthanded, because they haven't been able to so far tonight? Yeah, and an issue with the clock ran through while the referee was giving the penalty. So if you can read his lips, he wants some more time put on the clock. I think 1:15 will be the correct time when they're able to do it.
Working out the kinks of opening night.
Yep. You see P.T. Ricci.
My apologies to Nick O'Hara. He wasn't the one that supposedly slashed. Not that I criticize referees at all. Wink, wink.
Well, you coach. You're entitled. And they have fixed the clock to the referee's satisfaction.
Number 1.
Yep, P.T. Ricci.
Last thing Florida needs right now is a 2-pointer. Best thing is a stop.
Have not seen a 2-point attempt yet. Denver has had chances but hasn't tried. They're hovering around that 2-point line right now, though. Under a minute in this half. And you can see the Launch playing that perimeter very well.
Look at the ball movement, Dave. Again, not in the stick for more than 1 or 2 seconds.
There's a two-point opportunity, and it goes!
Sieverts.
He ripped that. That should be considered a two-pointer, and if it is, it's 11-1 Denver. That was a pellet.
And Jeremy was actually 2 or 3 yards behind the 2-point shot. Just to let you know the strength that he has. Steps in, bang, uses a defender as a screen, bounce shot.
No question that's a two-pointer. It's on the board as a two-pointer, so whatever little momentum that the launch got from the Amadon goal is long gone as Denver has come back with a 5-0 run to make this a dominant first half. You know, by the way, our half may end with these two right here. Nope, Kelly comes away with it, trying to add one more, and he can shoot it, but Florida picks his pocket. And the final seconds will be with the launch having the ball, but they've got a lot of work to do. A very, very difficult first half and the inaugural game here at Florida Atlantic University for the Florida launch.
And Denver just showing their experience over, expansion almost, inaugural Florida launch team.
It's a team that came to South Florida from Hamilton. But Denver, 14-0 last season, 20 consecutive regular season games. Wins, I should say. Somehow they didn't win the championship last season. We're going to be talking to B.J. O'Hara, the Denver coach, in just a moment. As you see Stan Ross, the launch coach, talking it over with one of his assistants, trying to figure out, as the sun sets here in Boca, what to do to make this game a little bit more competitive for his team. And I look back at some of the keys to the game for Florida, and they have not fulfilled what you had told them to do or suggested they do. Apparently, Coach O'Hara will not be able to join us, so we'll step aside. We have an interview with Casey Powell coming up. It's halftime here. This is Major League Lacrosse. We're at halftime here at FAU Stadium. There's our score. The Denver Outlaws in town to take on the Florida Launch, the opening weekend of Season 14 for MLL. And I'm joined by Casey Powell. If you grab a record book, you'll see his name all over it. Now you see him here for the Florida Launch and as a high school coach in the area. And Casey, that's what we wanted to talk about. The growth of this sport in South Florida over the 5 years since you've got here has been remarkable. What's behind it?
Well, it's a lot of efforts of the coaches and the players in the state, and I commend them for all the hard work and energy that they put in. I came down 5 years ago to help spread the game of lacrosse and teach it, and it's gone gangbusters. It's all over the state, from South Florida to Orlando to Tampa, Jacksonville, over to Naples, and a lot of parity, a lot of great lacrosse players, and the coaching in the state has really heightened, and it's become a place to come and play big-time lacrosse.
And we talked a little bit about the high school program, but another big item here, the travel programs. How has that changed over the 5 years?
Well, it's huge. I run a program called 22 Lacrosse. We bring players all over the country to play against some of the top competition. We train multiple times during the week, and that's a great way for the players to take advantage of getting better at lacrosse and exploring a lot of the opportunities and the experiences.
Do you find you're getting your players from other sports who are just picking up that stick for the first time and learning to love it?
Absolutely. Lacrosse is a combination of all different sports: football, basketball, a little bit of hockey, soccer. So it's an athlete sport, and it's a great way for kids to go out there and get involved in different aspects. You don't have to be 6'5" and be able to dunk the basketball. You can find a way to be on the field and find a niche, and it's a great sport, and that's one of the reasons it's so enticing to players. It's a fast-growing sport in the state and across America, and it's for good reason. It's a well-rounded sport that involves a lot of different attributes.
Another thing is, I think there's a misconception it's only a private school sport, but in just talking to some people today, the amount of public schools that are growing the game and are getting better and are getting ranked and noticed in the state has gone up dramatically.
It has. I grew up in a public school in northern New York, so it's a misconception indeed. A lot of the popularity did start with the prep schools, but it's growing everywhere now, and all athletes are having the opportunity to play it. More and more programs, more and more travel programs are popping up, and it's been a benefit to all the people that do want to get involved with this great game.
And I think it's also one of the reasons that there is now a Florida Launch. And Hamilton had this franchise last year, but there have been some games down here that have drawn well. And is that one of the reasons that attracted you to play?
It is. It's really exciting. I think this is great for the area. It's great for the kids. It's going to be inspirational that they have the opportunity to watch the world's best lacrosse players. They'll no doubt become better because of this opportunity to come out in their backyard and watch the greatest lacrosse players in the world compete against each other. It'll help them raise their game and give them a dream and give them something to shoot for. So I'm excited to be representing the Florida Launch and play in front of a lot of kids that I teach.
A lot of parents who have athletes in high school are thinking of the next level, the college level. Can we get that scholarship? Is it easier or more difficult now to get yourself into college playing lacrosse?
Well, it's not all about going to get the scholarship, but there's plenty of opportunity to play at the next level. And, coming from myself and my two brothers who all played college lacrosse, it's no matter what level you decide to play at, Division I, II, III, or club, it's a great experience. You become part of a fraternity, and it's a sport that you can play for a very long time.
As you have. Now, I mean that in the best way possible. Why do you keep playing? What keeps you going?
I love to compete. I love to play the game. I love to see it evolve. And I have a lot of friends that are my age and can't play anymore physically. So I'm still. It's getting more and more difficult to run against some of these young guys. But I try to play smarter, not harder. I love to play. I love to continue to launch this league and this sport. And I just have a lot of fun doing it. And it keeps me somewhat young.
What about the prospects for this Florida team? People maybe, particularly in the Florida market, taking a look at this team for the first time. I know the talent will change as other players start to come in from indoor and from college, but overall, what do you think of this franchise?
Well, I played last year for the Chesapeake Bayhawks, and we beat the majority of the B for this team, the Hamilton Nationals, by 1 in the semifinals. They're a team that can compete. They're a team that can play. They'll be returning the league MVP, Kevin Crowley, all-pro defender Tucker Durkin, Mr. Personality Brett Queener, net, who can be a game changer, and a solid group of role players around that. So I think it's going to the stars are going to be stars. I think it's going to see the Florida Launch season will depend on what the role players bring to the table.
And he modestly left himself out, but he'll be on the field. Casey, thank you so much.
Thank you.
We'll return with more of our halftime. Denver and the Florida Launch.
Ryan Boyle scanning, scores! Philadelphia is the champ in 2007.
Powerful blast, fires and scores! Casey Powell,
First title for the Rattlers from the Flower City.
Time has
2014 MLL Championship Game, August 23rd, Kennesaw, Georgia. Get your tickets today.
Over the shoulder score! Steele Stanwyck.
I'm Steele Stanwyck with the Ohio Machine. Lacrosse has taught me many valuable lessons throughout my playing career. The one that I value most, though, is competing with class. What does that mean? It means playing hard but not dirty. It means obeying the rules and not intentionally injuring others. Because good sportsmanship is so important, I've pledged to compete with class and honor the game. Will you join me? Take the pledge at uslacrosse.org/competewithclass.
Like speed? Check out the MLL All-Star Game Fastest Shot Competition.
Topped it, 114.
Can anyone top 114? Find out at halftime of the 2014 MLL All-Star Game. Thursday, June 26th at Harvard Stadium. For tickets and information, log on to MajorLeagueLacrosse.com.
How you doing? I'm Scott Rogers, goaltender of the Ohio Machine. The game of lacrosse has given me many opportunities and taught me valuable lessons throughout my playing career. Of all the things I've learned, the most important value I carry with me, on and off the field, is to compete with class. What does that mean? It means playing hard but not dirty. It means obeying the rules and not intentionally injuring others. Because good sportsmanship is so important, I've pledged to compete with class and honor the game this season. Will you join me? Take the pledge at uslacrosse.org/competewithclass.
The stars of MLL are the most skilled in the world. Chaz Woodson can fly. Paul Rabel can jump over a car. Brett Queener will jump out of one. And last year, Kevin Buchanan brought skate shooting to the MLL. What skill will win this year's freestyle competition? It's based on crowd reaction, so you can be a judge. Come to the 2014 MLL All-Star Game presented by AT&T to help pick the winner. June 26th at Harvard Stadium.
Well, it's been a difficult half, as the numbers indicate, for the Florida launch. The Denver Outlaws haven't skipped a beat from regular season last year, where they put up a remarkable 14 wins and no losses, but did not win the championship against the launch team, formerly in Hamilton, that has struggled. With Kevin Finneran, I'm Dave Lamont, and we go back to some of the highlights of this game, and it really, Denver scoring in the first couple of minutes on that shot by Drew Snyder.
And certainly not the half that the Florida launch players wanted to provide the hometown crowd. You know, give it to Denver. They're a well-oiled machine right now. But I just think Florida has got to come back, cliche, one goal at a time in the second half, and try to make it a game.
If you're looking at some of these goals, they look so easy. What has Denver done, or what maybe isn't Florida doing that's allowing this to happen?
Well, we talked about some of the keys of the game. Control Casey Powell. He's got 1 assist. Balanced scoring. 4 or 5 guys have 1 or 2 goals. And obviously their experience. The ball movement is unbelievable. Their close defense. And Jesse Schwartzman, 1 goal and a half. Can't ask for anything better than that.
And that right there is a heartbreaking, if you're a launch fan, 2-pointer by Jeremy Sieverts on the power play, where Denver has been perfect so far tonight. 3 power play opportunities. They've hit for 4 points. 2 single goals, 2 one-pointers, and that 2-pointer right before the half. So the launch, I'm not sure of Stan Ross's approach. I don't know how many times Stan's been down by 10 in his coaching career. I doubt very often. But take me through what might have gone on in that locker room.
Well, we've been talking about it all half. You know, the ball movement on offense needs to clearly improve. At the X ground balls, controlling the face-off. You know, you can't. Brett Queener's made probably 15 quality saves. So I just think their team defense need to step up in the second half. Their slide package need to improve, a little bit better communication, and get a couple of breaks.
And there you see Josh Amadon. He has the distinction of scoring the first goal in launch history, off an assist from Casey Powell, but that's all Powell's been able to do, even after you mentioned the adjustment the launch made in between quarters. They trailed 5-0 in the first quarter. Picked up that goal, and it was 6-0, and it looked like this could be the big turnaround for them, but it didn't happen.
No, they were clearly, had a chance to stay in the game here. And, Casey to Josh, Syracuse to Syracuse, and we haven't seen anything since then.
Beautiful evening here in Boca. Temperature right at probably about 80. The humidity not as terrible as it will be in a couple of months, about 60% at the moment. But all smiles if you're in those Denver colors.
Yeah, Coach O'Hara, I'm sure he's just telling his guy at halftime, you know, don't let up. Keep playing Denver Outlaw lacrosse. You know, he knows Coach Ross, having coached with him with Denver last year.
And Coach O'Hara joins us now. You want to just go ahead and get on the plane and head home? I mean, that's about as perfect a first half as you can hope for.
Probably.
There we are, Coach. Hey, can you hear us all right, Coach?
Just a little bit.
Yeah, there we go. We can hear you just fine. I was just saying, in that first half, that's about as perfect a half as you could have possibly hoped for. Why were you able to score seemingly as easily as you were?
If I knew, I'd bottle it. But no, they're playing hard, playing smart, playing unselfish. You know, we're finding lots of different ways to score. That's one of our objectives. You know, they're a pretty veteran team. They played together for a couple years now, and you know, we're off to a good start. You know, obviously the real trick now is to see if we can sustain it in the second half, which isn't going to be easy.
Well, Coach, Kevin Finneran here, you know, our keys to the game, you guys have accomplished all three of them so far. Contain Casey Powell, have balanced scoring offensively, which you have, and take advantage of your team experience. You know, the ball's moving. Nobody's holding the ball for more than 1 or 2 seconds.
Yeah, that's, you know, obviously that's the credit to the guys out on the field. They really looking for each other. They got a lot of pride, and you know, we're doing a real good job on the defensive end. It's creating a lot for us on the offense. You know, we're getting out of our end, getting numbers forward, and as a result, we're getting some good opportunities, catching some of their guys out on defense that maybe they wouldn't want out there.
All right, Coach, thank you so much. B.J. O'Hara joining us. Yeah, you bet. He's going to coach the second half. We apologize for a little technical issue there with the microphone. But, yeah, he had a wonderful half. It was interesting. This morning when the players came out, a few of them said, I kind of prefer the Denver air to this heavy air, but there seems to be no problem in adjusting to it. And, again, the temperature having dropped a few degrees since this morning and the humidity down a little bit, it's actually pretty comfortable, I think, to get a good sweat going. And it's clearly not affecting the Denver players in the slightest.
And Florida has a lot of veteran players that have a lot of pride. No question in my mind they're going to come out strong here.
And Kelly sneaks away with a face-off here, and he is a threat to shoot, but he gives it up, and it gets by. And it'll be a turnover, and it'll belong to the Florida launch. One other game going on in the league tonight, Ohio and Charlotte, and the last we heard, Ohio was up in that game 7-3.
Yeah, that was a surprise. Halftime score 7-3. Charlotte, you know, quality team. They're coming in down here next week to Florida to play. That would be a huge upset for the Ohio Machine.
That'll be the Hounds in the launch on the YouTube May 3rd at 7 o'clock. Part of a 3-game homestand. The launch will open with. In fact, they'll play Ohio on May 10th, and Kevin and I will be bringing you those games on YouTube for the Major League Lacrosse 14th season beginning tonight. And a Denver franchise that has made the playoffs, and the Outlaws are in white, the launch in the yellow. Denver franchise hasn't missed the playoffs since they arrived in 2006.
Good cut there. Wasn't able to catch the ball. Turnover. Denver coming down. Transition lacrosse.
Launch taking some, giving out a little punishment this time, which I don't think we had much of in the first half. Excellent effort by Matt Bachlet to keep it in play for the Outlaws. I don't know how Bachlet did that, falling out of bounds, able to flick it to a teammate. Shot clock at 32, plenty of time.
You're right, Dave. It really hasn't been a physical game, you know, to the extent that you usually see in Major League Lacrosse. Denver's really a finesse team. Don't get me wrong. They can smack you with the best of them, but they have just so much talent offensively and defense in the stick work that they don't need to go physical.
That's Chris Bachlet coming over the top, missing wide. And he did get knocked down for his efforts, but it'll still belong to Denver. That's Eric Law. The opportunity here on the break and knocked away by Brett Queener. Great save by Queener. Point blank rejection.
Doug Shanahan with the ball here, settling him down, waiting to change, get his offensive middies on, get his close defense back to close defense.
And launch making some changes. Lee Coppersmith coming in. He grew up very close to the FAU campus, went to high school in Boca Raton at St. Andrews.
new goalie in for Florida, Dave, Adam Fullerton.
All right, so Queener has been replaced. Adam Fullerton, who played his college lacrosse at the Army. And I don't think Queener played all that poorly in the first half. Kevin, how about your better knowledge on that?
No, absolutely not. Again, he had 15 quality saves.
That's a lot.
Could have been a lot worse.
Shot here. And just beating the shot clock by half a tick. The effort by Chaz Woodson just missing.
It's good to get that shot off on goal. Any shot on Jesse's a good shot. You'd rather not have it come with 1 second left in the shot clock. I think Florida needs to get the ball funneled through Kevin Cunningham a little bit more. Kevin had a dynamite breakout season last year. Really hasn't touched the ball a lot tonight. He can feed, he can score. Great stick protection.
Cunningham out of the emerging program in Villanova, West Philadelphia. And coming back the other way is the launch.
Big stop there, but P.T. Ricci creates transition.
Fires, and it's possible Schwartzman got a little piece of that. Kevin Cunningham comes away with it and keeps it for Florida. Two-pointer to goal! That should be a two-pointer for the launch. And it looks like Amadon, so he has all of the Florida goals so far, and this one for two. It's 11-3.
Wow. It looks like Casey and Josh have a real nice chemistry going early in the season. Casey sees him, 2 point, steps in, high to low, top shelf where grandma hides the cookie jar.
So you talk about getting back one goal at a time. That one's worth two. It's 11-3. Coming up to the 10-minute mark in quarter number 3. It's Kelly and Mattis resume their duel.
2-point goal. Scored by number 15, Josh Amadon. His second goal of the game.
Another big ground ball by Matt Bocklett.
Well, both Matt and Chris have been fantastic. Kelly taking a shot, but he's such a big guy that it was the defender who fell down, not Kelly. Kelly is a beast. Takes up a lot of space on the bus.
Well, the actual beast in Major League Lacrosse is Greg Gorlenian. We'll see him when the New York Lizards come in. I think he'd take offense to that comment.
Reset here for Denver. Sam Snow with it. 27 to shoot. Plenty of time. That's Terry Kimmener. Opportunity in front, and looks like another rejection by Fullerton. Making a couple of good saves here in this half. And relief of Brett Queener. And don't forget, Queener took that shot on the right arm late in the second quarter. And you wonder if maybe that swelled up during the break. I don't know. But that could be one of the reasons that Fullerton's getting the opportunity. Plus, down by 10, getting some guys some playing time could be a goal of Stan Ross as well.
And that's what usually, when you get hit in the arm by a ball as a goalie, if you're a lefty, it's your right arm that hurts more than your left arm, and vice versa if you're a righty goalie.
Now Schwartzman coming in with a nice save. Cow trying to get in. He had a small window to work with, and Schwartzman was able to send it aside, and he starts things with a good pass. Denver have been in control of this game from the start. They have never trailed.
So far, their big players have stepped up. We'll see this half if Florida launches, big players will step up.
Well, Casey Powell with 2 assists, both to Josh Amadon. We've had each team with a 2-point goal. There's a missed opportunity there for Florida. I think that was Woodson who missed out on a good opportunity. And we have whistles. And this might be an administrative issue. I did not see a flag.
Yeah, I think it was a reset of the shot clock. They had it at 56. It's now down 47 and counting. See where it stops. That's clearly the mistake. $35, or are they satisfied with that?
And they are. 35 it is.
Well, runs in this game come in bunches, Dave, so this lead is definitely not surmountable.
Florida got their goal when down 6-1 and then promptly gave up a 5-0 run. So now they get the big 2-pointer. Opportunity here. Oh, my goodness, another rejection, another shot blocked out in front, and Florida comes away with it.
Tough break for Florida defense. In and out call. 2 big saves by Fullerton.
I certainly hope Queener is all right, that if he was pulled for injury, that arm will heal quickly. He took a shot from point-blank range.
And Adam Fullerton, Dave, he's a proven veteran, played on the United States national team. As you mentioned, played for the United States Military Academy. Coach Ross knows him well.
It's a pesky defense now being played by Florida. They appear to be hitting a little bit more often and more aggressively. There's a shot and stepped aside. It'll belong back to Denver, though. And they have yet to score in this half.
Florida's defense, their interior defense, is clearly stepping up, pushing down the Denver Outlaws shooters to the outside, creating bad angles, and clamping down on the crease.
Gibson, who has posted up a couple of times very effectively, 33. There's a shot, and another save by Fullerton. He has been more than capable in this half.
That's a huge confidence builder for him, I'm sure, stopping one of the best players in Major League Lacrosse, point blank, and Jeremy Sieverts.
And a terrific pass to Woodson, who fires, and there's a big save by the top goaltender in the league last year, Jesse Schwartzman. And just when Denver kind of left the door open a little bit, Schwartzman slams it shut.
Yeah, he hadn't been facing a lot of rubber this first part of the second half, but he's ready when it comes, clearly.
Opportunity from in close, rejected one more time by Fullerton, who's been perfect so far in this half, and Florida getting an opportunity here.
If at the very least the fans are getting their money worth in the goaltending department.
Well, yeah, this is clearly a different launch team. Opportunity there, and a goal for the launch. It's 11-4. And they are making that slowly come, and there's Casey Powell with his millionth goal as a professional, it seems like.
Casey stepping up as he has done in his brilliant 9-year career.
So you mentioned this being a game of runs. Now it's a 3-0 start in this quarter for the launch. We will break and find out if Florida can maintain this.
Like speed? Check out the MLL All-Star Game Fastest Shot Competition.
Topped it, 114.
Can anyone top 114? Find out at halftime of the 2014 MLL All-Star Game. Thursday, June 26th at Harvard Stadium. For tickets and information, log on to MajorLeagueLacrosse.com.
Come on, squirrels, balls in. Get the ball. Come on.
Yo, touch the future, baby.
Cleanly, Smith on his way, he scores! The Chesapeake Bayhawks have returned to the winner's circle. Time expires. It's official. Chesapeake, #1. The champions are from Chesapeake. You can believe in the Bayhawk dynasty.
The 2014 MLL Championship Game, August 23rd, Kennesaw, Georgia. Get your tickets today.
So Casey Powell coming up with a goal, and all of a sudden, Kevin, the Florida Launch has made a game of this.
Seen this goal 1,000 times. Gets his defenseman hung up behind the goal, comes hard, increases his angle, takes the extra step to greatness and buries it.
And not surprisingly, Powell's had a hand in all 4 of the Florida points. One of their goals, a 2-pointer. He has 2 assists and a goal. It was 11-1 at halftime, and it's still a big gap for the Launch to overcome, but they're clearly more energetic and better on offense and defense.
And an illegal procedure call on the face-off there, giving the Florida Launch possession of the ball.
So that's Scally, number 7. Powell again. Nifty pass behind the neck. And Schwartzman, I think, got a little piece of that.
We like to call that behind the back, not the neck, Dave.
It did look, if you could go behind the back, I'd be thoroughly impressed. Got to look a little over the shoulder, like throwing salt over your shoulder for good luck. Off balance shot and almost scored. That was a very difficult shot. I think that was Garber, number 3.
Yeah, Florida's going hard against a short stick defender, taking advantage of those matchups.
So Garber behind the goal. Going against Noah Molnar. Garber shoots and scores! He wins the one-on-one matchup. That's Scally, actually, to 7, not 3. That's Andrew Scally, the attacker out of St. Mary's with a goal, and it's 11-5.
And just like you want your top line players stepping up, one of the keys, your second line players stepping up. And Scally certainly did there. Nice little move. My first time seeing this young professional play.
Launch goal. Unassisted. Number 7.
That's unassisted
Scally.
for Andrew Scally.
And that's 3 draws in a row, Dave, for the Florida Launch.
So you wonder, maybe, we talked a little bit about the temperatures here, 84 at the beginning of the game. High 70s now. Is this wearing down the Denver group just a little bit?
Quite possibly. Again, it is almost half the team on the field tonight at various times, South Floridians. It certainly comes into play and into their favor.
To subscribe to our MLL channel, youtube.com/MLL. Chance here, rejection that time. Big save by Schwartzman. And his role gets bigger and bigger as this game gets closer and closer.
He played that angle correct all the way. As the midi dodged down the angle there, he really could only go low, and Jesse was ready for that shot.
So has Denver been a little more conservative offensively, or is Florida playing better defense?
I think it's a combination. I think Florida's had possession of the ball more, and obviously when you have possession, you can dictate what's going to go on in the game.
This is Gibson working with Eric Law. Terry Kimmener thought about a shot, takes a shot instead. Now fires, and he goes wide. The Launch making the change at halftime, putting number 4 right there, Adam Fullerton, in the goal, and he has been perfect. Nothing's gotten by him yet. And this will be Florida's ball.
Great individual defense there by Tucker Durkin on Law, forcing the turnover.
Steve Panarelli brings it into the offensive zone for the Launch.
Durkin, a first-team All-MLL defenseman last year.
And Florida, again, maybe a 2-point shot on the offing here, each team with 1. Successful attempt so far.
Good possession by Florida here, not forcing it.
But shot clock is down to 10. Oh, what a shot! Kalikau diving on the shot.
One of the keys, utilize that 60-second shot clock, take smart shots. That's exactly what Florida did.
There's your score. We have 2:07 remaining in the third quarter that's been dominated by the Launch.
It's the greatest assembly of lacrosse talent you will see this year.
Red up top. Down to go for Paul Red. Right on cue. He scores. It is Kimmel on the run. Kimmel for two. Ridiculous.
From Major League Lacrosse All-Stars, the U.S. national team, the 2014 MLL All-Star Game, June 26th at Harvard Stadium. Get your tickets today.
Your hard work out there drives our hard work in here. Because the things you do that no one sees determine what happens when everyone's watching.
Sievert's off the sweep, gets inside, and scores!
Change hands. Pennell goes high, scores. Rob Pennell, what a play.
Brody Merrill for two, and he got
it. What is focus? It's a wondrous sensation of clarity and alertness. It's owning your opponent. It's knowing beyond a doubt you got this. It's keeping your head down, your eye on the ball, and knocking it out of the park. It's getting in the zone. It's keeping on your toes, on target, on top. Focus is staring the world in the face and saying, bring it. Focus is power. Focus is life. And 5-hour energy is focus.
With Kevin Finner and I'm Dave Lamont. And don't forget, fans, you can get ready for your MLL weekend by watching Inside the MLL, presented by Coke on CBS Sports Network. Each week, Evan Washburn will bring you all the latest MLL news and preview the upcoming games. He'll be joined each week by expert analysts like Kevin, as well as MLL players and coaches. Watch Inside the MLL, presented by Coke on CBS Sports Network all summer long. And if you walked away for a little bit, maybe to get a Coke, and when it was 11-1, we have a brand new match at 11-6. The Florida Launch perfect in this quarter so far, 5-0 over Denver. The Launch changing goalkeepers. That's worked out with Adam Fullerton replacing Brett Queener. We weren't told why the change was made. Queener did take a vicious shot near the end of the second quarter that shook him up with about 3 minutes to go, so that may have been the reason. But this Launch team playing so much better than they did in the first half on both ends of the field.
Their energy level has clearly stepped up. They're dominating at the face-off X right now, taking good quality shots and burying them.
This is Woodson, and he got popped from behind by Dominic Sebastiani, knocked out of bounds, and it'll belong to the Denver Outlaws. Sebastiani, that was a big play from the midfielder from Delaware. And here comes Florida again. This is such a different game than what we had in the first half. And another goal for the Florida Launch. And that looks like it might have been Kevin Cunningham. He had 17 goals, 22 assists last year when this franchise was the Hamilton Nationals.
Starts at the midfield on a turnover. Leo Gosney comes down, feeds it to Casey, over to Cunningham, exactly, who buries it.
Another assist for Powell. I think that's 3 for him in addition to a goal. So he's definitely had an impact.
Everything they didn't do in the first half, they're clearly doing in the second half.
It is so hard to imagine this happening, but I guess we should have had a closer game in the first place. You imagine what this game is like if Queener wasn't so sharp early for Florida when Denver was peppering him with shots.
And another defensive stop by the Florida Launch leads to transition lacrosse.
That was Shanahan leading the break. Opportunity here. Really good opportunity here, and it's rejected. Schwartzman made a huge save there.
Huge save.
Boy, Denver desperately wants to get out of this quarter with no more damage done. 14 seconds left. It's out of bounds and belongs to the Launch.
Great ride by Casey getting the ball back for his teammates.
Can you fire a two-pointer at the end of the clock, or are you going to eat it? And the Launch will take a 6-0 third quarter into the fourth. The crowd here getting into it. The Launch got into it. Now can the Denver Outlaws hang on for a 21st straight regular season victory? Start of the fourth quarter, and there's Casey Powell. He's had a big hand in this comeback for the Florida Launch. 3 assists and a goal tonight. This was an 11-1 game at halftime. It is no more, as you can see.
Well, anytime you keep arguably the greatest player in Major League Lacrosse history at attack on the floor the entire second half, he's going to make plays. He's going to find guys. The energy level is going to pick up. The ball movement. And the results are what we're seeing right now.
If you somehow missed the first half, that wasn't what the Florida Launch was playing like. That's what the Denver Outlaws were playing like. And all of a sudden, this has changed so dramatically. So now, as Kelly wins the faceoff and leads it for Denver, can Denver find the energy to hang on for one more quarter? And the energy has transferred from the field to the crowd as well. A lot of young lacrosse players here at the FAU Stadium in Boca Raton on a beautiful South Florida evening in April.
It's an exciting time for South Florida lacrosse. There's so many years, so many people that have put time and energy into growing the sport down here.
Opportunity in front, goes away. And the Launch will take it. Let's talk for a second about Adam Fullerton, who you're looking at there, coming in for Queener in goal and spotless record so far.
He's a big man, takes up a lot of the goal. Plays his angles and percentages well. And really, he's a lefty, so Denver's really not getting a change. So they're kind of shooting for the same angles, off stick side. So far, he's been up to the challenge.
Launch being patient here. And if you're not familiar with MLL, there is a 60-second shot clock. And you shoot outside of that arc successfully, the big arc, and you get yourself 2 points. Each team has done that once. A little contact that time from Pennington. Shot clock at 7, though. And the ball knocked into the air. Some aggressive defense, and flag is down. There's going to be a penalty here. Now, we had a shot clock violation, but hold on a second. Let's see what this flag is. Might have had something to do with that rather wild swing.
I believe Casey drew the penalty there. The first of the night, if I'm not mistaken, the first man up for Florida.
Yeah, Denver has had 3 power play opportunities all in the first half. They connected on all 3 of them, one of them for a 2-pointer that made it 11-1.
And again, that was vintage Powell going hard at the goal. Drawing the flag.
Well, Powell in his 10th season, and that flag is on Dominic Sebastiani. Powell, second in MLL history with 405 points and third all-time with 193 assists. Only Ryan Boyle has more points than Casey Powell in MLL. Shot rejected that time by Schwartzman. He got the stick down to deflect that.
30 seconds for holding.
It is a 30-second holding call. Chance here on the power play, high, and another big save by Schwartzman, 2 on that power play opportunity.
And I believe that was Josh Amadon trying to go back to the well with a high to low shot, and Jesse was up to the challenge on that one.
Amadon with a couple of goals. He had the first in Florida Launch history and followed it up with a 2-pointer that sparked the comeback for the Launch.
That shot had to be 95 miles an hour, Dave.
Amazing reflexes by the top keeper in the league last year, Jesse Schwartzman, who had a remarkable under 10 goals a game average.
Jesse's going to be representing our country this summer at the World Games with Team USA. So I'm sure this season means a lot to him.
Drew Snyder, who had the perhaps first goal of the season. We can't compare the timeline between here and Charlotte, where Ohio and Charlotte are playing tonight, but Snyder had the first goal of this game, and that's a bad mistake that time by Denver. What is so different about Denver, Kevin, in this half?
Oh, again, I was just going to say, everything they did right in the first half, they're clearly doing wrong now. Turnovers, not moving the ball, keep it in one player shtick. Really no energy level. That, to me, is the biggest thing. And the solid energy level from the Florida Launch.
Well, this would be a rather remarkable comeback. That's a quattro right there for the Launch. I mean, as you mentioned, goals come in bunches in this sport, but a 10-goal deficit is something. That's Scally. Scally has played extremely well. At first he was listed as not playing tonight, but that obviously changed. Shot here. Good ball movement and a goal! Tremendous ball movement, and Powell cashes in with another goal.
Wow. My first time in the broadcast booth, and I got to say, hashtag top 10. Watch this. Off-stick pass. Casey changes hands in midstream, catches the ball righty, brings it back to his lefty with virtually no angle. Buries it. Ball moves over. Righty, lefty, high to low.
2 goals for Powell.
Assist to number 1, PT.
And PT Ricci picks up the assist. That was a wonderful pass by Ricci, and Florida continues applying the pressure. Ricci, at one time MLL All-Star, and of course Casey Powell as well. Under 10 minutes as Denver tries to hang on. They've won 20 consecutive regular season games. Biggest story almost in MLL history when you think about what happened last year. 14-0 regular season, yet knocked out of the playoffs, which shocked everybody.
And it's been a storied franchise since they've come into the league in 2006. Fortunately, they haven't gotten the monkey off their back and had the big one, but they're clearly one of the best organizations to play for.
Owned by, in part by the Denver Broncos, Pat Bowlen, and of course everybody knows the quality of ownership of the Broncos in the National Football League, and that certainly transfers to the Outlaw organization. Can they pick up a goal here somewhere and keep Florida off their backs? If you can believe it, it was 11-1 at halftime, Denver in front.
And we talked to Coach O'Hara. He said he wanted to bottle what they did in the first half. I'm sure he's looking for that bottle right now.
Yeah, the genie has left. Kimmener. Shot rejected again by Fullerton. And here comes the launch. And you cannot underestimate what Fullerton has done in goal for Florida. Denver's had some quality chances. Shot fake there, off balance and missed. But Florida maintains possession.
Good take by Chad Woodson right now. He's kind of gassed. He's coming off to the field. Florida's smart to pull the ball out, call yellow.
Amadon with it.
And they are successful in doing that.
Yep, Betty Quattro comes in to replace Woodson, number 24. And he'll set things up. Tried the low angle shot and missed. And boy, Jesse Schwartzman is giving it to one of his teammates. Just had something very sharp to say, or so it appeared. And Schwartzman throwing the lumber around a little bit. There's going to be a penalty here. Shot clock goes off. Schwartzman saves it, but there'll be a penalty on Denver, possibly on Schwartzman.
I believe you're right, Dave. I think he came out, he saw the attackman coming into his crease area, and he wanted to take liberties of his own.
I don't think he's very happy with some of his teammates right now. He'll have a chance to vent, but it'll be in a moment. We'll step aside with Denver hanging on, with the launch making a 7-0 run of it.
Hi, I'm Ben Rubio. The game of lacrosse has taught me many lessons throughout my playing career. Of all the things that I have learned, the most important value I carry with me, on and off the field, is to compete with class. What does that mean? It means playing hard but not dirty. It means obeying the rules and not intentionally injuring others. Because good sportsmanship is so important, I have pledged to compete with class and honor the game this season. Will you join me? Take the pledge at uslacrosse.org/competewithclass.
Introducing TheLocker.com, a revolutionary new way for athletes to connect off the field. Like, share, collect, and purchase gear right from pros' lockers. Search teams, products, or your favorite players to see what gear they use and trust. Log on today at TheLocker.com. What's in your locker?
Okay. This telecast of Major League Lacrosse is presented by Coca-Cola. Open happiness. By Brine, proud to be an official equipment sponsor of the MLL. Brine, makers of the world's finest lacrosse gear. By Powerade, power through with Powerade Ion 4. And by 5 Hour Energy, for those who play for the love of the game. There's your score and time, and it's a 1-minute penalty on Jesse Schwartzman. Now, you get to have a goalie, but it's Charlie Cipriano, who played his college lacrosse at Fairfield University, who steps in for Schwartzman cold.
Never easy. Let's see if Florida can take advantage of that.
Well, that was a pretty heavy hit by Schwartzman, but I maintain, and I obviously I can't say for sure, but my guess is Schwartzman was hot at one of his players about something else, and he may have just taken out his frustration on the launch player. And there's a goal off the power play. And it looks like Andrew Scally, who's been very effective in the attack position, it's 11-9 with 7:29 to go.
Anytime you score a man-up goal, it's because balls move quick. Make the defense have to adjust, not be able to recover, and that's exactly what Florida does. Chaz Woodson finds Scully right on the backside. Great pass, dips, and dunks.
So Woodson, the midfielder from Brown, will get the assist. And you see right there that sling, that is Brett Queener, the starting goalie. We had speculated that that shot he took on his arm caused him to be taken out of the game. And if he turns around, I see fingers wrapped up on that right arm. That might be a pretty serious injury. We'll try to find out more, and certainly you keep up with Evan Washburn inside the MLL. Evan will probably have some information on that as Florida comes right down very quickly again. Loose ball in front, and Schwartzman is back into the game. And now he's got to be really mad, but he has to be mad at himself because it was his penalty that allowed Florida to have that power play opportunity that they scored on.
And as great a goalie as Jesse is, he's definitely a goalie with a lot of fierce and he's got his temper at times, and that clearly showed right there.
It appeared from here it did, but only he knows for sure.
I'd have a temper too if I was facing 95-mile-an-hour shots.
Pennington goes wide with the shot. Denver has not scored in this half. The winner of 20 regular season games in a row. They've been outscored 8-0 since halftime.
Hard to believe this powerful offense isn't being able to score a goal this run.
Shot clock at 15. Opportunity there. That's Bachlet, and it's put back in. That is a huge goal by Eric Law. The first points for Denver in this half. It's 12-9 with the clock stopped at 5:51 in our game.
And Chris really could have shot that. Again, it shows his overall ability as an attackman to not only score but feed. Finds Law on the backside. Goalie out of the play. Easy goal.
Yeah, Law was by himself, amazingly, and that's really the first time that Florida has had a letdown in this half on the defensive end. So Madison Kelly once more into the breach.
And we'll see who's fresher at the faceoff X here. They've been battling each other.
They have. They have literally looked like one of those, the old wrist wrestling from Petaluma on ABC's Wide World of Sports, which I realize I'm dating myself with that comment. You can follow the MLL on Twitter at MLL_lacrosse. Lots to talk about on the opening night. Last we checked, Ohio was ahead of Charlotte 10-6. Those two teams will be the Launch's next opponents, and Kevin and my next broadcast on YouTube, May 3rd and May 10th. Shot, score! Oh, what a shot by Justin Pennington. And Denver may have gotten their sea legs back just in time. It's 13-9.
Haven't called Justin's name tonight, but he took advantage of the time he got on the field. Shake and bake, right to left. Stick side, that's a shot I'm sure Adam would want back.
So after not being able to crack Adam Fullerton in the half. They pick up 2 quick ones on him. One, a point-blank chippy by Eric Law. We talked about the importance of the face-off. That was all set up when Kelly won the face-off. This time Mattis does, but he's having a hard time hanging on to it, and Matt Bachlet comes away with it. We have whistles and a timeout.
Good call by Coach O'Hara there.
Yeah, Denver has called a timeout. There you see B.J. O'Hara. One of the ironies of this game is the Florida Launch, one of their assistant coaches, Jim Stagnetta, was the head coach of this Denver team a year ago. Jim wanted to get back into college coaching and was in Florida. Stan Ross goes, hey, you want to help? And Jim had no problem saying yes to that.
And Stan, one of the young, bright minds in professional lacrosse coaching.
Let's go under the helmet with Cascade. And we talked at the top about this draft, and you're really fond of it, aren't you?
Well, there's some top players, and they're certainly going to come and vie for positions once their season is over. You talk about Kieran McArdle, has a chance to win a Torathon Award this year with St. John's. Joe Mara, a solid defenseman from Ohio State. Ryan Creighton, a great midfielder, physical, strong. Nico Amato, and on and on and on. Going down to Duncan Clancy, Andrew Barton, and Bobby Lawrence. And Nico Amato, goalie from Maryland, has a chance to win a national championship this year.
Right now, the man in goal for the Launch is Adam Fullerton, and the thing to follow is Brett Queener's arm injury. You get put in what might be a cast, or at the very worst, a sling. You've suffered a relatively serious arm injury. You see Casey Powell, he's been brilliant in this half for the Launch, leading a comeback. They have outscored Denver 9-2 in this half, but with under 4:30 to go, Denver has kind of recovered a little bit and built up a 4-goal lead. Or 4 points, considering the 2-point shot is still in play. Everybody's ready? Here we go.
And with the quality of stick work from the defensive end, it's really tough for the riding team to create turnovers in Major League Lacrosse. As you see there, Denver having an easy clear.
So who do you think Denver turns to now offensively?
Well, you know, we talked about Bachler in the beginning of the game. Sieverts has stepped up. Haven't heard him in a little bit, as he has the ball now.
And missing. Now Denver with a clock on their side. They can afford to be patient. Sieverts, shot. Good pass by Sieverts. The shot and the goal for Denver. And suddenly, Denver is back to the way they were in the first half. I think they're trying to get a call out of this as well. But it is 14-9. And I believe that might have been Matt Bachlet on the goal from the pass from Sieverts. 3:42 remaining, and suddenly Denver has caught fire when it matters most. We'll find out how this one finishes when we return to Boca Raton.
Jeremy Sieverts.
Championship, if you will, for the Toronto Nationals. The champions are from Chesapeake. You can believe in the Bayhawk dynasty.
Who will be next? The 2014 MLL Championship Game, August 23rd, Kennesaw, Georgia. Get your tickets to Like Speed? Check out the MLL All-Star Game Fastest Shot Competition.
Topped it, 114.
Can anyone top 114? Find out at halftime of the 2014 MLL All-Star Game. Thursday, June 26th at Harvard Stadium. For tickets and information, log on to MajorLeagueLacrosse.com.
So a huge goal set up by Jeremy Sieberts to Chris Bachlet. And right about the time I asked you who's going to have to step up, you said, well, Sieberts, and he comes up with the assist on that goal.
And he really could have taken that shot. That's in his distance. That's in his range. That's in his quote-unquote wheelhouse. But the way they were playing the first half, down due. 5-hour any shot of the day for Sieberts as well, earlier in the first half.
We've had 2-pointers, one for each team. At the end of the third quarter now, we have Ohio 12-8 over Charlotte. 46 shots on goal, Florida 37. And Florida at one point was down by 10, but all of a sudden this has shifted all the way back to Denver. A good opportunity there goes by the boards. And it's possible that Matt Gibson's a little shaken up, number 33. He sort of withdrew from the play after getting hit. Now he's going to run it out. Hopefully he's all right.
Sure, Florida's certainly thinking about a 2-point shot now, Dave, in the next couple of minutes. With 3 minutes to go, down by 5.
Well, Chris Bachlet with 5 points tonight, 13 shots on goal. And the launch come right back. They're not out of it yet. And it's Casey Powell.
Deadly inside scorer.
Well, that's, I believe, 3 for Casey tonight.
Yep, that's his office back there. He needs one step. He doesn't even need an angle. His stick is his angle.
But that clock is the biggest enemy of the launch so far. Powell with 5 points. Talk about efficient. 4 shots on goal for Casey Powell and 3 goals.
And you talk about 2-point shooters for the Florida launch, try to get back into the game. You think about Amadon. You think about Shanahan, Chaz Woodson, Casey if he was playing midfield. So look for those guys. Casey might roam up that way.
And Mattis has just been at hand-to-hand combat almost. Hopefully he is okay.
Florida's got time.
Quattro trying to set up. I would imagine they got to think about getting it to Powell as often as you can. He's hovering around to the right of the goalkeeper, and he has it now.
Lee Zing covering Powell. Great matchup.
Yeah, 2 of the best in MLL history right there going at it. Powell has a chance. Rejected by Schwartzman. What a save! 3 of the best in MLL going at it that time with Schwartzman the goalie.
Big time. Casey got underneath Lee, held his stick protected, waited, dipped and dunked, and Jesse denied it.
Well, that might have been the dagger. Usually the dagger is a goal. This time we had a dagger save.
Couldn't agree more.
Because now Denver can kind of go into the Lacrosse version of a 4-corner attack here and just take all the time they need. Under a minute. This inaugural game for the Florida Launch got off to a poor start for them, but what an incredible second half, and that's got to give them a giant shot in the arm of hope for what this team can do with their next game, which will be against Charlotte on May 3rd.
No question. Came back hard in the second half, see what they can happen.
But you may be looking at the long-term goalie for this team too, and Adam Fullerton, if Brett Queener's injury is serious.
Potentially for at least the next game.
2-pointer. You can hear that one nearly left the campus. Launch trying one more. They got to shoot pretty much 2 from here on in.
And Denver's pushing out on them, knowing that they need the 2-point shot.
Got to fire it. 10 to shoot. 10 in the game. Swapped at the last second. And this game will be the 21st consecutive regular season win for the Denver Outlaws. But they earned this one by hanging on. The Florida Launch picking up some respect around MLL with this result. Unable to win it, but consider this was an 11-1 game at halftime. For Denver to make this kind of comeback, or excuse me, Florida to make this kind of a comeback speaks well for Stan Ross's team. We will step aside. We'll tell you our player of the game and talk a little bit more about what ended up being a thrilling matchup between the Outlaws and the Launch when we return. This is the MLL on YouTube. The next broadcast. So fireworks here to commemorate the inaugural launch of the Florida launch and a competitive second half. First half, Kevin Finneran, was a disaster for Florida. Denver dominated. Top team in the league last year in the regular season. They run their win streak in the regular season to 21, but give credit to Florida. They fought hard, and our player of the game joining us now, Chris Bachland, who had 5 goals tonight. Chris, what was it, the difference in the two halves? Because this was dramatic between the first and second halves.
We came out firing, had a lot of energy. We're moving the ball well. In the second half, we were just a little sloppy and taking early shots instead of good shots. And they kind of took advantage of that. Got to give credit to our defense for keeping us in there an entire game. But we just need to make better decisions on offense.
All right, Chris, we can get you to move the mic a little closer to your mouth. That would help us hear you a little better. Kevin?
And Chris, you hit the nail on the head. You guys played great team lacrosse from start to finish in the first half. Came out real sluggish. Florida took advantage. And then as a quality team that you are and the quality leader that you are, you were able to step up at the right time at the end.
All right, Chris, congratulations. I know it's a little hard to hear with being our Coke player of the game, and best of luck to the Outlaws for the remainder of the season. We'll step aside, and Kevin and I will have some final thoughts of this one as the fireworks fly high over Florida Atlantic Stadium. Denver wins this on opening night of the MLL 14-10. So there you see for the Florida launch, Adam Fullerton thrust into the goalie position in the second half when Brett Queener was injured. His right arm in a sling after taking a vicious shot. He made the save, but we don't know how long Brett's going to be out, and that could be a key loss for the Florida launch as they get ready for their next game against the Charlotte Hounds on May 3rd at 7 o'clock. Kevin Finneran and I will be providing that for you on YouTube. What do you take away from this, Kevin, tonight's game?
Well, you know, you never get anything out of a loss, clearly. And in your home opener, you want to come out on top. But, you know, Florida could have laid down, and they didn't. They came back strong in the second half, provided their fans a ton of excitement, showed the fans of South Florida pro lacrosse, Major League Lacrosse style, and they're going home happy, I got to believe.
From the Denver perspective, I don't know how to explain the third quarter. They didn't score after being up 11-1, but, again, the team that was the best in the regular season, can they be the best this year?
Well, you know what? They've been one of the best franchises for the 10-year existence of their franchise. And, you know, they've fed off of last year's team, 14-0, and I'm sure they were coming into this season after a tough semifinal loss with an agenda and something to prove. And they stepped up at the right time tonight and proved that.
They made the long road trip from Denver to South Florida a successful one, the 21st consecutive victory in the regular season for the Denver Outlaws. The Florida launch start their year 0-1, and their next opponent and our next broadcast will be here at FAU Stadium on May 3rd, 7 p.m. Eastern against the Charlotte Hounds. Our final score one more time, Denver 14 and Florida 10. For Kevin Finneran, our entire crew here at FAU Stadium, I'm Dave Lamont. For highlights of this game and all of your MLL video, subscribe to the MLL YouTube channel. And for all your Major League Lacrosse news, make sure you visit MajorLeagueLacrosse.com. This has been a presentation of Blacks United Marketing and Major League Lacrosse. Good night from FAU.